So I think we just spoke to the guy in the prison. We brought him a bar of soap and told him not to drop it. Oh no, that's right, we were partway through. Guys, we have to carry on from where we left off. Yeah, I forgot. The last time we played this, the stream OBS was giving me shit. And it cut out in the last 40 minutes of the stream, I think. Half an hour to 40 minutes of the stream. So we didn't get to finish the conversation with this guy. So let's carry on through. This is the autosave from before the actual cutout. So this is some 4 or 5 minutes of content gone, but I think we did a lot of talking around that. So let's crack on with this. So this guy wanted to be punished. Let's just remind ourselves of the conversation we had with him, because we're right in the middle of it. So he says he was responsible for the man's death. It's the immutable truth here, and he wants to be punished for it because he believes that his experiment really did kill a man, and therefore, bleh. You know, because more because the experiment was a failure rather than the death of the man is what pissed him off more. But yeah, the victim is a guy called Mr. Ashman, who apparently, or Mr. Assman, who is apparently, I think he was also a criminal, in some sense. I think he was like a criminal mastermind dude. Yo, King, what's up? Do the lurk thing. Hope you're well. No problem, do you lurk away. Hope you're doing well too, dude. Nice to see you.
Bell for dinner.
Oh, that feels better for that. Oh my goodness. I'm kind of close to that, Freya. I had curry today, so we're channeling the same energy. We're just catching up on where we were, guys. Basically, yeah, if you remember last stream, I almost forgot, but last stream, OBS just fucked up and crashed, and we couldn't get back on in like the last 40 minutes or so. Dapus is here too. Hello, guys, come on in. Nice to see you all here at the start of the stream. So yeah, we're just catching up on where we were, and we're on case 3 now, but we only just got started, and we've basically seen a scene where our guy, Naruhodo, has finally been allowed to return to court by Male Strongheart, and he was told, come and resolve this case. Herlock Sholmes is off on some case of his own, and this guy, Odi Osman, is the victim. He's a well-known financier and perished in the explosion and the experiment of a stage at the Great Exhibition. It was basically a teleportation experiment by this guy, Albert Harebrain, a German scientist, Albert Harebrain, yeah, who wanted to demonstrate this super high voltage instantaneous kinesis device, otherwise known as a teleporter. And it blew up, killed this dude apparently, but he says the success of the experiment was like, oh, but actually, it was a bit of a success because the guy did kind of teleport, but then it exploded and he's dead. So, oops. So yeah, that's the case. And we're just in the middle of talking to Harebrain. And he's more upset about the fact that his experiment was a failure. Therefore, for that I wish to be punished at once. So yeah, basically we've already seen some of this. We're going to be catching up to where we were. This is the autosave that thankfully only means we've lost about, I don't know, 5 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes worth of stuff, but it wasn't much because we were talking in the middle of it all. So there we go. Yeah, hat, yes. Look at this dude. So, let's just work through. Murder? Never in a million years. It was an accident. Simply an accident. I see. Haley and I were talking this morning, you know. He said the situation would change completely depending on whether it was treated as an accident or murder. How exactly? Well, if it really was an accident, then the Professor's machine would be kept in protective custody. Right, yes, that's what we've gone through this as well. So we need to prove that it was an accident, and therefore the machine would be protected. But if, as we're about to see, on what grounds? Ah, yes, it's a newly established here in Great Britain, the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. That one passed me by. But if the case is treated as murder, then they'll say my machine was the murder weapon, and they'll be able to port over it as much as they like. If they examine it in detail, they'll find out how it's made, and then they'll be able to copy my idea. My precious hypothesis will be stolen. The machine must be protected from that at all costs. That is why it's imperative the whole incident is shown to be an accident in tomorrow's trial. English is so difficult. I see now. So that's where we are. We need to prove it was an accident, not murder, which I think is kind of our job anyway. It's like, look, I wasn't planning to go in there and make sure that it was proven it was murder, you know? So tell me about instantaneous kinesis. So in short, there was a terrible accident at the Great Exhibition Showgrounds yesterday. Yes, or rather no, the devil is in the details. Strictly speaking, there was a terrible explosion. Sounds the same. You were demonstrating a super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, weren't you? How fascinating. Humans, like all matter, are made up of particles that are held together by electrical bonds. So it must be possible, using sufficiently high voltage, to break those bonds and beam the particles through space. That's it in a nutshell. That's my idea, you see. It's my amazing hypothesis. Gosh, that's unimaginably high-level science. That's like some Star Trek shit. And we don't even know what Star Trek is yet because it's the 19th century. Oh, but dare to imagine it. Dare to dream of such an incredible technology. Just think, one moment I could be here in this cell, and the next I could be at the Great Exhibition again. Killing more people. Sorry, that just slipped out. Well, yes, that would be incredible. And the next, in a mere blink of an eye, I could be at the Great Parisian Theatre, say. The possibilities are endless. The whole of our vast planet would be within reach. But no more hiding in wardrobes on rocky seas for 50 days. I don't really see it like that. What do you mean, Iris? Well, if you could travel anywhere in the world instantly, their planet wouldn't really seem vast anymore, would it? I think it would feel like it had shrunk. My word, that's exactly right. What are the implications? What does this mean? Oops, that got Professor Bunnybrain really worried by the look of it. Clearly this is yet another case of just because you can doesn't mean you should, I suppose. The point is, my calculations are flawless, the science works. But without a practical demonstration, it means nothing. And that's always the fly in the ointment. There's ointment involved? I mean, you are in prison. Because practical demonstration costs a lot of money. Money that young scientists like you don't have. That's exactly right, yes. Hurley's always complaining about it. He says the government should invest more in science. Well, anyway, I bumped into him at the right time. That would be the victim, I guess. Because apparently his financier was the victim, and he insisted on being the first person to test it. Do you remember that? I met the well-known investor, Mr. Assman. Mr. Assman. The victim who died in yesterday's terrible accident, you mean? So tell me about this Assman. The full name of the man who died in yesterday's accident was Mr. Odie Assman, wasn't it? What exactly was your relationship with the man? How long were the two of you lovers? He first visited me in my laboratory in Germany a year ago now. He said he wanted to invest in my immaculate hypothesis. I thanked my lucky stars. I see. So you hadn't really known each other until then? Money for scientific research. I'm so envious. As far as I was concerned, the man was an angel. Oh, really? An archangel, even. He was prepared to fund a practical demonstration of my hypothesis for presentation at the Great Exhibition. And if that went well, I could expect additional financial support for my research from the British government. Mr. Assman provided me with money and an exceptional engineer. He produced a machine to my precise specifications. Alright, I'm calling it the engineer did it. Solved. Let's move on. But then your dreams were blown to dust by one enormous explosion? As you can see, I owed everything to Mr. Assman. I would never, ever have thought of taking the man's life. Well, he seems genuine enough. I don't think he's lying. Okay. Let's try presenting him with some shiz. So we got this exhibition newsletter. How could this have happened? Must feel awful. As well as a man losing his life, the Crystal Tower was greatly damaged too. And it's in the papers. That's the 19th century equivalent to it's on the internet. Everybody knows. I know what happened. It must have been that. That. The day before the demonstration, I had my usual meal of frankfurters at the hotel restaurant. You're blaming the sausage. When I paid the bill, they gave me 3 shillings too much in change. But instead of saying anything, I just slipped the coins into my pocket. They're still there now. Oh, cursed money. It's divine retribution for my wrongdoing. That's what this is. For a scientist, he has some very illogical anecdotes and long and illogical. That didn't unlock any new conversation. Oh yeah, for the newcomers, by the way, guys, there's something I want to show you really quick. I don't know how many of you spotted it. On the Discord server, we have a new feature. I'll just be really quick about this. Let me just pop the Discord server up. So, you'll see up in the top corner now, it tells you when I'm streaming. I have to put a manual event in. There's a new events feature on Discord, and I can basically put in different events, different times. I thought I'll give it a test today and see what it does. And thankfully, yeah, it puts it up in the top corner, so I can give it a hyperlink and say, go here. And you guys can click if you're interested in any of these streams in the future. So it'll let me know what kind of things you want to see from the channel going forward. But this is going to make it a lot easier for you guys, you know, to never miss the fun. So keep your eye up in that top corner. Keep your eye on that event tab. I'll keep updating it when the next streams are in. I'll probably only put like a week's worth of streams in there. You know, because it's going to be hard to keep up with, like, whether or not I'm going to finish a game or not, but I can always, I guess, edit some of these and remove them and change them and that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's a neat little feature, guys. Just thought I'd let you all know that that is a thing that is happening. Just keep an eye on it. Alright, so Prosecutor's office. That's right, we need to go here now and speak to Van Zykes. I remember now. Because, yeah, Van Zykes was attacked, and he had some other guy with him when they were attacked. That's the other thing in the newspaper. So we will want to go and check in on him, but I think also he will be prosecuting this case, of course. Cool. This is a sweet-looking office. He's got a little model of a castle and everything. Oh, so this is the legendary Reaper's office. Yes, it appears so. Alright, it sends a chill down your spine, doesn't it? What an amazingly deathly atmosphere. Oh, it's that. Ooh. The hooded figure was so still I hadn't noticed his or her presence. I wonder who it is. What are you doing here? Ah! It's so weird not seeing him in a courtroom. He's as unwelcoming as I thought he'd be. Actually, maybe even more so. Oh, I'm glad to see you're well. I am. Okay, so, who's the person over by the wall there? Has he been punished for something or other? Sit there and face the wall and think about what you've done. No punishment is taking place here. Oh. That's my apprentice, and he's sitting there of his own free will. I didn't know you had an apprentice. Especially since he appears to be a necromancer of some sort. So it must be the same person who's pictured in this newspaper. He's very able in combat, a requisite skill for anyone under my tutelage. Are you referring to the attack on the Reaper that was reported in the papers? The Reaper? I'd be interested to know the Reaper's true identity myself. Assuming, that is, such a fabled fiend genuinely inhabits our great courtroom. Sweet. Can I just have a look around first, dude? Like, look at this wine collection. Oh my god. This is where he gets it from. I love that he's just got a cabinet full of those goblets as well. I mean, it's like, okay, yeah, that's one trial's worth of wine bottles and goblets right there, and he'll smash them through the course of the trial. He'll have more delivered the next day, and they refill the cabinet. Look at the fine collection of hallowed chalices and bottles neatly lined up there. My hallowed bottles are filled with the essence of finest grapes from the finest vineyards I visit. And I personally oversee these chalices being made by the finest crystal craftsmen in the world. I mean, if you're gonna smash shit in court, you want it to look good, right? And yet you throw them around in court like they were worthless. Yes, because this imbecile is so unimaginably and repeatedly wide of the mark sometimes. Oh, really? I've beaten you every time in court, dude. Just saying. Before you open your mouth next time, you should consider the poor artisans whose works you defile. Wow. Oh, so it's my fault. Silly me. How could I have ever thought otherwise? Jesus. There's a game of chess going on here. Lord Van Zyx's desk looks so stylish. And that's a marble chess set beside it. Chess, that's the Western version of our Japanese shogi game, isn't it? You know, I'm actually quite good at shogi problems. Oh, really? You'd probably like chess problems in that case. I'd love to challenge Lord Van Zyx sometimes to a bout of shogi problems, of course. If you only really want to challenge yourself, you can always do that at home. Got a little model down here, look. That little model as well, the one with the weird cone thing on it, looks like the teleporter. So I wonder if he's had a scale model of the teleporter made up so he can examine it for the case. Oh look, it's a scale model of the Great Exhibition Showground. Yep, okay. That's exactly what he's done. And then there's another table over there with a balloon on it and a dead man. That's amazing. I wonder why it's here. Perhaps he made it to take his mind off of the sadness of being too busy to attend in person. Or perhaps he's too embarrassed to queue up for a ticket. Ooh. Surely it's obvious I'm using that as an investigative aid. Ah! You Nipponese have no business painting others as overly reserved. Wow. Again with the casual racism. I really didn't think he'd overhear that. Dude, you're in his office walking around looking at his shit. Now who's this mysterious vampiric figure? That portrait really dominates the room, doesn't it? This is one of his ancestors, or it's him from like 600 years ago. Hey Sam, what's up, dude? Come on in. How is Monday treating you? It's a very majestic outfit and pose, but sadly whoever painted it didn't do a good job of capturing Lord Van Zyx's facial features. Yes, you're right. I mean, it's not far off, but the artist has exaggerated his subject's handsomeness, I think. Ooh. Like a work Monday. Oh no. Yeah, that sounds bad. Well, hopefully we can keep you distracted. Ah, that reminds me. I heard Emperor Napoleon of France ordered artists a visit to make him look more attractive when they painted him. How vain. That's not really an attractive quality in a person, is it? That portrait does not depict me. Surely that's immediately obvious. Oh, then who is it? Cool. Good answer. So yeah. We've got some kind of weird alembics thing over here. Tolfdir's missing alembic from Skyrim. There's bats hanging in the ceiling. What the fuck is this, dude? And then he's got wine barrels. What an alcoholic. Ah, fucking hell. I did not expect that. Ah, they were bats! Yes, the Reaper's familiars, I expect. But what about the mute man in the dark cloak? I thought he was familiar. Not just the flying kind. He must be a dear friend of Mr. Reaper, then. I think the familiar is more likely. Scary, though, either way. Look at all the ancient casks lining the wall there. Casks in the Reaper's chamber.
Full of blood.
Or are they caskets? You don't think this is where he stuffs his victims? All the people who has escaped conviction in court are lying inside them dead, do you? What ridiculous notions are going through your head, man? This is my collection of fine vintages. Vintage bodies, yes. Of course. Thank you for clearing that up. Runo and I were just musing to ourselves. Don't mind us, Mr. Reaper. I wouldn't if you hadn't invited yourselves into my office to talk nonsense within my earshot. Yeah, we haven't had a conversation with him yet and we're already poking all of his things. It really looks like a punishment to me. I've never seen someone sitting like that before. He hasn't moved a muscle since we arrived. Do you think perhaps he's dead? If he was dead, Runo, he wouldn't be sitting up, would he? Rigor mortis. Anyway, dead or alive, he's not overly approachable, is he? I don't think he's going to talk to us. He's not dead. I don't know, he looks pretty dead. I mean, you know, he could be meditating as well, just throwing that idea out there. So, last night's attack. Lord Strongheart said the assault last night was some sort of revenge attack. True. Carried out by the henchmen of Odi Asmon's criminal organization. That's right, we were told it related to the guy that died. The investigation meant their arrests were imminent. Presumably, some hoped to kill me before that happened. Odi Asmon. He's always masqueraded as one of London's most powerful financiers, a global investor. So he's a bit like Magnus McGilded then. But his enormous wealth came to him by underhanded means via his criminal activities. And he used that money to buy himself a verdict of not guilty when he found himself in court, didn't he? Yes, because he was recently in court. It's all coming back to me. Being prosecuted by you, Mr. Reaper. The man got his comeuppance in the end. Yesterday, in fact, in extraordinary circumstances. It was a most unusual case of death. I know about that. A super high voltage instantaneous kinesis gone wrong. It's a transporter accident. It happens all the time to red shirts. Was he wearing a red shirt at the time? I don't think he was. Mr. Asmon died when the demonstration on the public experimentation stage ended in an enormous explosion. Correct. And you think I have some kind of divine ability to cause an accident like that to happen, do you? Well, no. That does seem a little far-fetched. If this man really is the fabled Reaper, then he has to be innocent of this particular death at least. It's strange how this worked out, isn't it, Runo? I mean, what with you taking on the Professor's defense for the trial tomorrow? What? You're going to be defending him? Oh yeah, that's right. Though I barely know the man's name yet, to be honest. Let me guess, you're prosecuting, are you? Albert. Albert Harebrain. That's right. Do you know him by any chance? Of course. He's a contemporary of mine. We were at university together. You're... what? Nani? I'd understood that Professor Harebrain was from Germany, though. Harebrain's from a respectable British family. After graduating from the University of London, he moved to Germany to carry out his research, that's all. And he adopted a slightly German accent, as I am trying to portray badly. Maybe that's just an act, so he could feel like he fit in more once he moved to Germany. So you were students together? I was in the Faculty of Law, of course, and he in science, so our paths rarely crossed. But curiously, we got along, though I've not met him since my university days. He's not one for keeping up with friends. I certainly didn't expect our next encounter to take this form. And with you of all people representing him. Ugh. Only if I make it out of this office alive and not get stuffed into one of those barrels. He's actually been charged with murder, it seems. Yes, I know, because the prosecution will be handled by me. Oh, you, but you made it sound as if you and the professor had been friends. We are friends, it's true. Then why would you do this? If the Reaper is the prosecutor, there's nothing anyone can do to save him. He's doomed. Maybe he's hoping to dispel the myth of the Reaper once and for all. With this, it's literally like, if the guy lives, then he's not the Reaper anyway. That's bullshit, because it's the first time somebody lived. If he dies, then he's not the Reaper because he was my friend. I wouldn't kill him. What's Lord Van Zykes thinking? What about this Reaper identity? What do you mean by what you said before? That you'd like to know the Reaper's true identity? Does that mean... I'm a crown prosecutor and a mortal like any other. I'm no demigod. Doubt. But they've all died, haven't they? The people you've prosecuted, I mean. Well, no, because Natsume hasn't. He's still alive. He's back in Japan. Whether or not the trial ended in a conviction or an acquittal. Those I prosecute are the vilest wretches of our society. And yet, we kinda proved Natsume innocent. And also, Lestrade as well, Ginny Lestrade. People who without question deserve to be found guilty. The world is a better place without them. But that's not true of Mr. Natsume, for example. He wasn't a vile wretch at all. Nor was Ginny, in fact. She's ever so hard-working now. Yeah, she's pickpocketing harder than ever. I get the feeling we're going to see her in a totally different capacity, because she left that last case of the last game being like, I'm going to go do something to try and help the underprivileged kids of the Lower East End. So now she's going to come back as a social worker or some shit, who still likes to pickpocket on her spare time. I can't deny that since I encountered you, things have taken a turn, but the point is this. If any of those vile wretches that escaped justice subsequently died in mysterious circumstances, it was at the hand of their own kind. It is not my work. Lord Strongheart said the same. He believes you're not involved in any way. But you were attacked by the ruffians because they believe it's true. The fact is, since people started to call me the Reaper of the Bailey, the number of serious crimes in the capital has dropped substantially. Oh. It would appear that even the most hardened criminals can be made fearful for their lives. You mean to say... I mean to say that if my pseudonym serves a useful purpose, I adopt it gladly, and with honor. But it's putting you in danger. You could be killed. If that is my fate, let God decide. Lord Van Zykes. Damn. Dude's cold as ice. Alright, so about the paper. Lord Van Zykes, about the article in the paper. Ah yes, it seems there was a reporter nearby when that little skirmish took place. I had no idea I'd been photographed. It was careless of me. He doesn't like to be photographed? It looks as though it was taken after the people who attacked you had run away, though. Rest assured the police have already apprehended every last one of them. But there's something else, someone else fighting alongside you, it seems. No, I might have been right first. Something else. And I think it's the same man who's sitting over there as we speak, isn't it? As I mentioned already, he is my apprentice. Perhaps you could tell us a little more about him? The mysterious apprentice with the mask. He's in my tutelage to become a prosecutor, so you could say he's my apprentice, I suppose. Ah, like you are to Hurley then, Runo. I am not that man's apprentice. I don't remember taking an apprenticeship with a great detective. other than maybe occasionally correcting his rubbish hypotheses. He is currently compiling a report about last night's attack. It looks like he fell asleep while he's doing it. Looks like he's wearing some kind of mask. On Lord Strongheart's orders, nobody knows the man's face or indeed his identity. But why would you agree to take on such a clearly suspicious individual? Lord Strongheart's orders again. He's not one for meaningless follies. There will be a good reason for his actions. I hope you're right. He moved. What if this guy's... I'm just thinking, with the white underneath, what if it's Mr. Graydon? Ah! Hi! The task is complete. Good. In that case, you can collate all the briefs. At once, my master. Nice to meet you. Fucking weirdo. Back to work again. But that was really strange, though. I've never met the man before. I didn't even know he existed, and yet, somehow it didn't feel like our first encounter. Hey, Nanny! What's up? Doing good, thank you. How are you today? How's Monday gonna treat you today? Or how has it treated you, rather, I should say. That was a strange way to put it. Oh my god, hang on, hang on. I'm gonna make an early prediction. Can we actually... we can't really zoom in on that image, can we, if we look at it? So, oh, can we? I don't know. No, it doesn't zoom in. Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah, yeah. I'm making an early prediction here, guys, about who this person is. Who the strange masked individual is. Kazuma Asogi. He's not dead. Thanks, you're fine, a little tired because you had to get up early to drive your dad to his eye operation. Oh, I hope the operation went well then. Yeah, early morning and operations and... ooh. Well, you know, good for you for being a good child and taking him to the hospital. But yeah, hopefully the operation goes good. Is it for anything particularly serious, or was it like laser surgery, or what did he have done? But yeah, I'm gonna say this guy is actually Kazuma. Probably why he didn't speak to us, because he knows we're gonna recognize the voice. Just a thought. It's gotta be someone that we've already met, otherwise that wouldn't have happened, and I thought, well, let's see, who do we know that it could be who is an accomplished combatant? And Kazuma had a sword. It's either that, or it's Susato. She's back. She's grown a few inches. Don't bother trying to converse with him. He says nothing to anybody from outside this office. Lord Strongheart has strictly forbidden it. I see. Why are you so interested in my apprentice anyway? Oh no, I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to, well, it's just the way he stood there so casually, yet with that flawless posture. It couldn't be. Yes, I think I'm right. We'll probably won't find out till the end of the game, though. Oh yes, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. Oh, what's that? That Nipponese man, is he faring well? Sorry? The one arrested twice in succession 6 months ago. With the stoop, the mustache, the jitters. Ah, Mr. Natsume, you mean? I'm not sure he'd be very pleased to find out you identified him from that list, Runo. Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of, you know, obvious. He's fine, thank you. In fact, I received a letter from him by international post only the other day. I see. So that must relieve him to think, actually, yes, I don't have a supernatural curse that causes people to die around me. Which means, whoever's doing these killings around his cases is definitely someone here in this country. I'm gonna say it's Lord Strongheart. Perpetuating the myth because he knows what Van Zyke said is it's good for, you know, the crime rate to go down. Keeps people scared. Fear keeps them in line. Well, I think we can end our discussion there, don't you? There's little time before tomorrow's trial. I advise you to spend it investigating the case. Yes, thank you for the advice and for the conversation. I can't believe he's asking after Soseki-san, after a Nipponese. I'm not sure whether to feel happy about that or worried. He has a cataract. The operation was a little complicated. He was supposed to get trifocal lenses. That did not work, and he only got the bifocals, so he might have to have an extra surgery in February the 22nd. Ah, right, okay. Well, fingers crossed either way, whichever way it goes, it becomes a solution, you know? If he has to go back for another one, and that does the job, good stuff. If not, and the job is done, good stuff. Let's just hope for good stuff. Yeah. Oh, you're welcome. Never imagined Mr. Reaper would be friends with a mad scientist, did you? I mean, actually, you know, that's a turn up for the books. A mad scientist? You mean Professor Hairbrain? It might be worth quizzing the professor about his relationship with Lord Van Zykes, I think. So intense. Alright, well, let's maneuver back to the prison. Hello, Professor Hairbrain, who I know now is English, but I will keep doing the German accent for. Tell me about the Reaper's varsity years. Tell me all the dirt. Do you know did he do anything really stupid at college? Did he do that thing that David Cameron did where he puts his dick in a pig's head or something? I need some dirt. How's your throat? It's doing good, actually, yeah. We played this, last couple of times we've played this, I've gone full-length streams without it really being a problem, so... But I do start every stream with a cup of nice, velvety hot chocolate. That does help a little bit. Especially when you put cinnamon sugar in it. And hazelnut syrup. Lovely. Very lovely. Yummy. I noticed in Tesco a couple of weeks ago when I went down there, over where the coffee aisle is, they've got, like, shaker bottles of cinnamon sugar, vanilla sugar, and there was another one. I can't remember what it was now, but there's another type of sugar that they had as well, like a third type, like a chocolate one, I think it was? Chocolate and ginger or something? I don't know. Might be interesting. But they're for putting on top of desserts, or for putting over cappuccinos, you know, and like sprinkling over stuff like that. But I thought, like that, I'm going to dissolve that into my coffee for that cinnamon taste. It's nice. So, tell me about the Reaper's varsity years. I understand Lord Van Zykes is a friend of yours from university days? Yes, that's right. He was studying law while I was studying science. What was he like back then? A good question. Unassuming, gentlemanly, all-around nice fellow, I really. Sorry, I think you misheard me. I'm talking about the cold-hearted, merciless prosecutor Barak Van Zykes. What was he like when he was at university? Talk about a leading question, Runo. As I said, as an unassuming and extremely pleasant gentleman. After all, he is the little darling of the Van Zykes family, with all its great aristocratic origins. I didn't realize he had quite such a noble blood. Little darling? It was a bit of a shock when I came back to Britain and learned what he'd become. The Reaper of the Bailey, no less. Yes, that's right. I did hear, though, that there was a very big event in his life that completely changed him after graduation. Really? What sort of event? Oh, I'm sorry. But I don't know anymore. It wasn't in the country. I wasn't in the country at the time. I was in Germany already. Oh, yes, of course. That was a very convincing denial. If he's heard all about the Reaper, I really don't have the heart to tell him that Lord Van Zykes will be the prosecutor in court tomorrow. Well, he's gonna find out eventually, dude. You've got to tell him. So, Professor, let me just make this absolutely sure I've understood you properly. The huge explosion that occurred yesterday was an accident, you're saying? You have no intent to harm the victim, who was in fact the sole investor in your work, is that correct? As correct as 2 squared is 4, I swear it. I'll have to take your word for that, because that was math, and I don't do math. Yes, it's true, the man perished in a machine of my invention, so I know that I'm far from blameless in all of this, but still, I would never use my discoveries, my inventions, to take a person's life, not in a centillion years. I am a man of science. It's all I know. You have to believe me, please. Do you believe me? Do you believe in my hypothesis? Science is the pursuit of truth, you know. I've always believed that, all my life. I'm afraid I don't know much about science or your theories, but I do believe you, and I will fight to prove your innocence with all of my might. I am a man of the law. It's all I know. You have to believe me, please. Oh, sorry, getting a bit carried away. When I went to live in Germany after I graduated, I learned something very important. Nationality, class, lineage, none of that matters. As long as you try your hardest, you can achieve anything. Thank you, George McFly. Thank you for that, Professor. And thank you in advance for defending me tomorrow in court. Alright, Runo, it's time. Time to visit the Great Exhibition. Sorry? Well, that's where the incident happened, isn't it? I think she really wants to go. We're going at gunpoint. I suppose that's true. Time to investigate at last. I'll be back. Hey, the experimentation stage. We actually get to check the scene of the crime in these last couple of cases before the court date? What? What is this luxury? We didn't get this in the first game. We were just thrown into court like, here, defend this numpty who you know nothing about. Pick it up as you go along. Oh, the showgrounds are a little too big for my liking. We've been walking around in dense crowds for 2 hours now, and I've felt myself swooning 3 times. Ah, swooning. There are lots of people, aren't there? I've almost been trodden on 3 times too. Well, you're so small, that's why. Be careful, won't you, Iris? Don't let go of my hand. Aww. Hold Big Brother Runo's hand. We finally made it through the throngs by the look of it. Here we are, underneath the public experimentation stage where the explosion happened yesterday. Oh, damn. Wow, the Crystal Tower is kind of smashed. What's that? I can hear voices from up on the stage. Sounds like an argument. We must get up there quickly before the crime scene becomes contaminated. Oh god! Oh look, it's Jenny! Yes! Right, I've had it with you this time. I'm warning you, I'll arrest you in a minute. Oh yeah, go on then, Spectre. Give it your shot. You ain't got no evidence and you know it. Wait, I know those voices. You've got a cheeky little mouth on you, young lady. But a night in the cells will teach you some manners. Just you try it, I dare ya. If you want that bag of chips rammed down your throat. Yoo-hoo! Gregsy! What are you doing up there? He's like, oh shit. It's Lady Iris, I must... Oh, actually then, come on, think about it. This is the first time we've seen him since the stealing of information case at the end of the first game. He's still on the force. I mean, we saw him in the previous case, but that was a flashback to way before those events. I expected this guy would have been, like, up on charges and drummed out for all that, like, attempting to falsify evidence and whatnot. Ah! Ah! It's you! Here! You're here! Your ladyship! Hello! How are you, your ladyship? I hope you're well, your ladyship. Does that make her 3 times a lady? I'm not well at all. It's far too busy everywhere. I wanted to ride in the balloon, but there was a 3-hour queue. Go and arrest everybody in the queue so that she can ride in the balloon, Gregson. Unbelievable. I'll go have a word for you at once, your ladyship. You'll be flying as high as a kite in no time at once. I'll pull some strings for you. This guy. Tobias Gregson, an inspector at Scotland Yard. Until recently, he was suspended from duty, but it would appear he's back in action now. He's actually quite well known, appearing as he does in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, and for that reason, he can't say a word wrong to the story's author, Iris. Yeah, otherwise she'll write him in a really bad light. But there are limits, surely, or there should be. Watch it, sunshine. Sorry? What gives then? Don't tell me you're on this case. Yes, I'm acting for the defense. So we're here to investigate. Dear me, that's the situation, is it? Is it really that troubling? A measly 5 bob, is that all you got? You're a lawyer, ain't you? You could stand to carry a bit more copper around in your pockets, Mr. Nara-Odo. Look at her, she looks cool. Hey, that's my last bit of spending money, that is. Give it back. You can have it back, but I'll have to charge you all for the bother. 3 bob. What? You pick my pockets, then charge me for the bother of giving me my money back. This is Gina Lestrade, a pickpocket or a diver, born and bred in the East End of London. In the case that led to my own suspension 6 months ago, this is the young girl I was defending in court. So really, you owe me money for the inconvenience. What's your problem, eh, Odo? Diver, pickpocket, what's with all the name calling? You want a big bag of chips rammed down your throat and all, do you? I thought you were proud to be a diver, Gina. You were just arguing with Inspector Gregson about it, weren't you? I assumed you've been up to your usual tricks here at the showground. That ain't no way to talk to a lady, Odo. Half a year's a long time, people can change. I'm an apprentice now, learning to be a Scotland Yard detective. So you'll have to call me what everyone else does. It's Inspector Lestrade now. Oh my god. She's actually Inspector Lestrade. Fantastic. Inspector? That badge is homemade, surely. Badge number 997 as well. I'm not too familiar enough with Sherlock Holmes, like the original literature, to know whether or not that was the original Inspector Lestrade's badge number, but if somebody wants to look that up and tell me, I'd be interested to know. The inspector part isn't entirely accurate. No one calls her that. For what it's worth anyway, investigating is off the cards for all of us. And what's that supposed to mean? Right, well, I'll be back up top. You hold the fort down here. Right, sir. So everybody's not allowed to investigate? This raises a lot of questions. What number was it again? 997. It'd be interesting to know whether or not that's actually a badge number that had been mentioned, or, well, whatever, like an officer number, I guess, rather than badge number, but if that was like Inspector Lestrade in Sherlock Holmes's badge number, that would be pretty cool. Alright, well, let's have a quick examination before we look around. So, Crystal Tower, it's been smashed. What's all that? The Crystal Tower, it's certainly an apt name. It was built to be the focal point of the exhibition, and it definitely is, being so tall with all that glass. Ooh, excuse me. I can't imagine a building like this ever being erected in Japan. There are lots of exhibits inside the tower as well, apparently. Of course, there's an observation deck, but there's also an art gallery, a zoo, and a museum in there? A zoo? What? Like a petting zoo? But I heard you have to queue for 3 hours just to get through the door. Well, at the moment, the shattered glass from the failed experiment may well be the biggest draw. Thanks to that accident, the whole tower is shut. Certainly it's not the Crystal Tower anymore, but the Crystal Glass Shower. Apparently everyone's taking to the skies now to look down on the disaster area from above instead. But there's a 3-hour queue to go up in the balloon now. The queue just moved into another attraction. Londoners must be very patient people. Hey, we're British, we love queuing. Okay, it's just a thing. Us Brits, we love to queue. There are bits of exploded machinery. It looks as though somebody dropped something behind the tree just here. Dropped or hid. It's not even hiding. But hey, that looks like a crossbow. Like a collapsible crossbow. What is this? Some part of a machine that exploded? Maybe. It could have fallen from the platform above in the blast, perhaps? What's going on here? Oh, nothing. I think I'll hang on to this just in case. A curious contraption. But yeah, that looks like a collapsible crossbow. Oh, look, what's this? A ripped piece of cloth. Not like any fabric I've ever seen before. It's thick and stiff and looks extremely durable. It's canvas, I think, with some sort of rubber backing, and the edges appear to be a bit charred as well. Maybe that means it had something to do with the explosion. Let's make a note of it while Ginny's mid-yawn. Piece of green cloth added to the court record. It's got a rubber back and was found under the experimentation stage, the grounds, the scorch marks around the edges. Cool. This platform must have been set up for the experiment, I suppose. It's very high up. About 30 feet above the ground, apparently. That's what the policeman I just spoke to said. I don't really understand feet very well. We don't use them in Japan. We fly everywhere. Sorry. Oh yeah, sorry. It's about 9 meters. But soon you'll have been in London a year, Runo. It's time you got used to our measurements. Regress, damn it! Come to the imperial measurements. Well, yes, well, this thing is so tall the spectators at the front would just have seen a wall and nothing else. They probably thought they'd secured the best spot to watch from, only to be disappointed. There's a saying in Japan, the darkest spot is right under the lighthouse. I feel like it probably applies here. Anything else along here? It's the stairs. Obviously leads to the stage above. We should go up there and investigate the exact spot where the experiment was being conducted. Except, oh, Ginny's not gonna stop us. I wasn't done down there yet. Damn. So that's it, the machine that blew up. Oh, it must have been a magnificent explosion, and I've seen my fair share. You've seen things like this before, you mean? Of course, Hurley's always doing experiments that end in the bang. In fact, in his own words, explosions are the very essence of chemistry. Ah, that might explain the smell of burning that frequently comes wafting up the stairs. One time he made something that exploded with such force it shook the roof of the building. I wish you'd been there to see it, Runo. It's hard to get too excited about that, given that I now live in the roof. Well, anyway, that's enough about that for now. You can't find any badge number for Inspector Lestrade. Okay, no problem. I just wondered if it was. I've read some of the Sherlock Holmes books, but not all of them, and I don't think Lestrade actually showed up yet. So, yeah. Well, anyway, that's enough about that. Time to investigate. After I go back downstairs and finish investigating the... Oh, wait, no. Ah, look, Inspector Gregson is over there. He seems to be deep in thought about something, whilst eyeing up the machine carefully. Really? He just looks confused to me. That too, but I was trying to be generous. But let me finish looking around downstairs first. Oh, we are here. How do I get back down? Let me try moving away and come back. Won't let me actually go back down. He's looking at me like, what are you doing here? Nothing, I just, having trouble getting back to my old location. You only read the first one really hard, if English is your second language? Yeah, I can imagine, especially since as well the speech patterns are like really old English convention. It's a very classical way of like literature, like the way that it's written. I had a little bit of trouble following it in English. English is my first language. Alright, so we can look up a little bit. Is there anything up here we can click on? Maybe we already looked at everything. No, that's a thing. The hole. That's where the Cove ended up after his instant kinesis, or whatever they call it. Dead, of course. And yet they're calling the experiment a success? What's the wooden scaffold there for? The coppers, our lads, set it up after the incident happened. To get the body down, I think. Dunno, really. Didn't you help to erect the scaffold then? Nah. Lookout duty's more my thing. Wandering around in the exhibition and keeping a lookout for the fun stuff. Mind Gregson doesn't hear you saying that or he'll give you the boot. It's incredible though, isn't it? I mean, could the victim really have bridged the gap by some sort of invisible kinesis? No, I think he was thrown over there by the explosion. Yeah. Balloon! I've been meaning to ask you for a while now, but what are those funny round blobs floating in the sky? Oh, they're the flying balloons I've been talking about. I want to go up in one so much. I've read about situations like this in a magazine about strange phenomena. Creatures from out of space coming in round flying objects to attack Earth. What? I suppose inhabitants of other planets are bound to be interested in the Great Exhibition. This is it, Iris. It's happening. Invaders from space! It's not. Don't worry. I'll explain it to you later over a nice cup of tea, Runo. Just ignore the nice aliens for now. It's fine. Everything's fine. Now please look at the flashing light. There we go. Oh, there's a thing here as well. Okay. For some reason the ground is damaged on this spot. Look. Almost as if there was a fire here or something. Yes, if you look closely, there's some scattered ash and burnt embers too. Well, I suppose there was a big explosion just above here. People probably wouldn't bat an eyelid at a small fire like this, would there? Would have been. I'm not sure we English are quite that laid back, Runo. But what could have happened is part of the debris fell down here and burned to a crisp. Alright, so that was everything. Oh, no, I meant to talk to What's-Her-Face. No! Damn it, how do I get back down there? How am I supposed to get back down without leaving the whole freaking area? I want to talk to Ginny first. I keep forgetting. How do I play video games again? Oh my god. Alright, hi Ginny. I'm back again. So, about you. It was 8 months ago now that I first encountered Gina in a connection with a case that I was working on. At the time, she was living in the East End with a group of other orphans. She helped all of them survive by pickpocketing, but then she got embroiled in a murder. In a moider. I had a lot of time to think in prison. I realised I couldn't go on like I was. The diving weren't working out. Especially since you kept getting caught, you mean? Oh, I'm so pleased to hear it, Ginny. Well done. So you went from being a pickpocket to a detective because they just let you join the police. It's like, look, if you get fed up of being arrested, just join us. You got it. Sound good, innit? Inspector Lestrade sounds like something out of a book, eh? Nah. Talk about the sea change. And then there's Iris's old man to think about. Iris's father, you mean? Yeah, I promised her, didn't I? I said I'd get all the police forces round the world to pull out all the stops to look for him. Just a small promise then, nothing serious. Oh, Ginny, you're so sweet. So anyway, it's how come I had to go for the test at Scotland Yard. Only trouble is, I don't read so well, do I? So just a small problem, nothing serious. And that's when Hurley approached Gregsy and asked for help. So the inspector said he'd take full responsibility for Ginny and made her sort of an apprentice. Well, that's very magnanimous of Inspector Gregson, and brave. Or maybe he was just scared. Well, you know Hurley, he enjoys finding ways to make people do what he wants. Just like you. The great detective likes digging for dirt, in other words. So, the long and short of it is, if you got questions about the case, you can ask Inspector Lestrade. Right then, Inspector. Actually, there's still a big mystery surrounding Gina, isn't there? Oh, what, Runo, what? Well, 6 months ago, Gina was the defendant in the trial prosecuted by the Reaper, and she's alive. A trial in which she was found not guilty, and yet she's still here. Come on, you're not still on about that, are you? The Legend of the Reaper, what's it called? God, you don't half worry, Odo. If I didn't half worry, there probably wouldn't be a whole lot of you left. It's like I told you before, innit? The Reaper's kinda like him upstairs, so he knows what I'm like on the inside. That I ain't really done nothing wrong. Nothing wrong might be stretching a point. I mean, she did break into the pawnbrokers, steal the guy's gun, hold him at gunpoint and force him to show her something in the back room. Kinda wrong. What about Mr. Natsume in Japan? He's perfectly fine, isn't he? Well, that's true. He didn't do anything wrong. Perhaps the Reaper is more discerning than I thought. Exactly. So I ain't worried. I'm totally fine. So what about yesterday? Core, it was out of this world, it was. The brainy bloke pulled a bunch of levers on his machine and suddenly it started billowing smoke. Then it just went pop. I ain't seen a better experiment here yet. Sorry? You mean you saw it, Ginny? With your own eyes? Yeah, of course. The boss is in charge here, ain't he? Of keeping everything running smooth, I mean. The boss being Inspector Gregson, I suppose. That's gonna take some getting used to. So all I have to say is that I'm on duty and I can do whatever I want to. Get this. I was up in one of them flying balloons when it happened, watching it from above. Oh, you're so lucky, Ginny. Maybe I should join Scotland Yard too. Yeah, do it. You know how to put the boss in his place already, right, Iris? You have no trouble at all. Just go and tell him I'm joining, and he'll be like, oh yes, of course. By all means, come on in. Shit. Then it's settled. Where do I start? No, you can't join Scotland Yard, Iris. Well, see... Anyway, what I don't understand is this. If the machine exploded so spectacularly, how can Professor Bunnybrain still be claiming that his experiment was a success? Oh, right, well, it was a success in a way. It was? How can it have been? Because the guy ended up over there. Hurled by the explosion, I think. Surely after the whole machine blew up, no one could call the experiment a success. It's like I said, it did sort of work. I mean, yeah, there were loads of smoke and that whooping great bang. But where do you think we found the victim's body, eh? In the crystal tower over there. What? In the tower? Yeah, embedded in the glasswork, apparently. You can see for yourself, can't you? Up there on the scaffolding. Oh, where all the broken glass is, you mean? Yeah, the cage what the victim got in to start with really did get beamed through the air or whatever and landed all the way over there. So you see, it did kind of work, didn't it? What? So the whole cage went with it. I bet that wasn't meant to happen. I don't believe it. I mean, I don't get the ins and outs of it, but anything's possible with science. Oh, I'll tell you what, you can have this. It's a plan of the experiment they drew up at the Scotland Yard. Are you sure? Yeah, go on. I had 3 bob off you before, so it's fair. Yeah, I didn't actually give that to you, did I? So we just purchased evidence. Great. The sketch of the experiment. So a diagram showing the relative positions of the crystal tower that Professor Harebrain's machine and they exploded. I don't think we really need that to kind of understand the situation. But still. Even drew in the balloons. Interesting. So about the investigation. Something Inspector Gregson said before seemed a little strange. For what it's worth anyway, investigating is off the cards for all of us. Yes, naughty old Gregson ran off after that without explaining himself. Oh, right, that. The boss said no one's allowed to investigate the weird machine what blew up yesterday. Well, that's not fair. We're representing the defendant. In that case, could you at least tell us what you've learned from your investigation? Nah, you're not getting it. We ain't allowed to investigate either. Why? What did the boss call them again? Forensic investigation team, I think. Anyway, apart from them lot, no one's allowed to lay a finger on the scene. Bit funny, innit? So even Scotland Yard's own detectives can't investigate? Yes, I've never heard something like that before. I thought I could have a gander on the quiet, though, but the boss caught me at it. You probably heard him give me an earful about it from down here, didn't you? It's not bleeding fair. I think you were giving him as much of an earful back as I remember. Yeah, well, sometimes I think it's with all them chips what make him so stubborn. You say something to him, Odo. Go on, see if you can get through to him. He's up on the platform above, isn't he? Where's the machine that exploded is? We can try, can't we, Runo? Gregsy will listen to us. Well, let's look at some of this evidence before we move up there. So this thing here, look at this. That is indeed a crossbow. Can I manipulate it somehow? Oh, there we go. There's a trigger at the back. Some sort of lever here. Aha! Whoa, cool. What is this? It looks like a cross between a bow and a gun. Kind of like a crossbow gun. I think it's probably used for the same thing too. The folding crossbow. This groove here must be where the arrows are loaded, I suppose. So I was right, it's sort of a bow with an automatic firing mechanism. This would be perfect for someone like me who catches his ear with the bowstring 2 times out of 3. In fact, if I'd had one of these, maybe I could have beaten Kazuma in Kyudo archery training. But then you wouldn't be doing archery. That's like turning up to the 100-meter sprint on a fucking Ducati motorbike and saying, yeah, if I have one of these, I can beat you. Bring it on, Usain Bolt. It looks like you wind this around in order to draw the bowstring back and create tension. You must be able to fire the arrows with a huge amount of force using this device. In fact, I would imagine it's far more accurate and powerful than a Japanese longbow. I really had no idea what I was picking up when I spotted it at the exhibition ground. So somebody may have used this to sabotage the experiment. If we can find a crossbow bolt, that would be super. And there's this weird green fabric with a rubberized back. It looks like layers of thick canvas with a thick rubber lining of sorts. I've never seen anything like it before, but applying Mr. Sholmes' methods, you might deduce it was part of a raincoat worn by someone who really didn't want to get wet. And it's green. It's Olive Green's raincoat, guys. She's back. She's out of jail. And she wants revenge on everybody. And the charring must have occurred when the person was struck by lightning. Okay, that really is a Sholmes deduction right there. Or maybe not. Like Iris is just completely silent in the middle of that, like, eh. But it could be part of an insulating thing, right? Got this here, that's all we've got there. Alright, move upstairs now, finally. We can actually do stuff up there. I bet if we try to look at anything, I bet Gregson gives us an earful, so let's try it. So what about this stuff here? It ripped itself apart magnificently, didn't it? Magnificently and mercilessly. So someone stands in the middle of the machine to be disassembled and then beamed through the air. Yes, beamed. Not blasted, that's the point. Yeah, that's part's particularly crucial, really. If something like that's even possible, though, Iris. Oh, Bruno, I'm just a child. How should I know? A child when it suits you, you mean? From what I can tell, I think you're going to... oh, stop! Don't touch that! Aha! That was practically instantaneous kinesis the way you flew over just now, Gregsy. Please, your ladyship. I didn't mean to startle you, but I can't let you touch anything up here. Oh, sorry. You can have some of my latest special blend to make up for it. Oh. Glug, 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 glug. Down in one, dude. You don't need to chug it. Ah, wonderful. This stuff is really wonderful. Just like old times, this is. We're representing Professor Harebrain in court tomorrow, Inspector, so we should be allowed to examine the scene. Ha! Listen, Sunshine. Even I'm not allowed to touch anything up here. It's that blasted Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act to blame. It's driving me potty. Oh yeah, the Special Dispensation. The Professor mentioned that too. More red tape's all we need. I don't know what the government thinks it's playing at sometimes. But we're allowed to just look, aren't we? Eh? Surely that's alright, isn't it, Gregsy? If we don't touch, we look with our eyes, not with our hands. Of course, your ladyship. Anything you say, your ladyship. But please don't get your dainty hands dirty, will you? In other words, don't touch anything. Please. Don't worry, we wouldn't dream of touching anything, would we, Bruno? She really knows how to get what she wants. I'm getting a Pirates of the Caribbean reference here as well. You guys can't see it, sadly. But let me see if I can kill my camera really quickly. Nope. There we go. William and Turner. Nice. I'm hoping that's a Pirates of the Caribbean reference anyway. Good old Will Turner. I can't interact with it anyway. That's the microphone, so what if we click on this? What's that? Considering how badly damaged everything is, Professor Harebrain was lucky to escape unscathed, I'd say. We should have a good look around the machine while we can. Touch anything and I'll make sure I'll kill you before I get strung up myself, you hear? I won't touch anything, I promise, so please spare a thought for your digestion. You know, like chew before you swallow, man. Jesus Christ. I see you lurking, V. Thank you for the lurk, dude. Wild chores, awesome. You get those chores done. Thank you for the lurk, much appreciated. Anyway, do you really think this machine could actually disassemble people like the Professor claims? I mean, other than with explosive force. He asks, looking totally incredulous. Give it a rest, Sunshine. If we were allowed to examine all this bleeding scrap metal, maybe we could answer that question. But we can't, can we? Because of the annoying rules, you mean? Exactly! The annoying, obstructive, flaming rules! Oh, look at the base of the machine there. Oh yes, there's a tool of some kind poking through the wire mesh. What? It's a screwdriver, I think. Oh, isn't it a lovely one? The handle is in the shape of a capital letter A. Is it? Oh yes, you're right. What's the matter with you? Don't touch anything, I said. Touch anything and I'll make sure I kill you before I get strung up myself, I said. Yes, yes. I understand, sorry. I only touched it a teeny weeny bit. But Gregsy, I'm very curious about the screwdriver. Really, very curious. Really. Really. Of course, your ladyship, you're so clever, your ladyship. Fancy spotting something like this. But I'm afraid I can't let you have it. But Bruno found it first. I assure you I'll investigate it thoroughly. He's gone off with it. Bugger. That was very mean. I'm afraid Inspector Gregson is going to make a very clumsy and embarrassing mistake in next month's installment now. Poor Gregsy. But now he's gone, we can poke things. Look at this, the London Eye. What is the gigantic thing over there? It looks like an enormous water wheel. Oh, that's a Ferris wheel. There'll be people riding inside those little cabins you can see. Why? Well, they rotate nice and slow, so it's a wonderful way to see the surrounding scenery. Wait, it's turning, but it looks completely still. Yes, that's because it's turning so slowly. One complete revolution takes about half an hour. If you were mad enough to go up in one, it would be more fun to whiz around fast, don't you think? I feel as though you might have just invented a new sort of ride there, Runo. The Naruhodo wheel. What is the freaking Kremlin doing over there? There are all sorts of strange buildings here in the Great Exhibition Grounds, aren't there? I seem to remember something similar being exhibited in Japan at one time. Oh, in your country, Runo? I do wish I could go and see it. I'd present a particularly strange samurai with a present of one of Hurley's stories, which I'd written especially, and see if I couldn't get Hurley to into a jam against some Bartitsu Master Ninjas. What? You might not find as many of those sorts of people around as you think. Oh, well, that's dull. Oh, but I do know a prosecutor with a Chonmage top knot. Well, not anymore, he got it chopped off, but I could introduce you. Good old Ouchie. A Chonmage, really? Do you think I could have my picture taken with him, do you? Assuming he's recovered from the trim Kazuma gave him a year ago. Well, he had the sprout, but he cut it off, so... yeah. Guy was a little over-dramatic. Alright, there's nothing there. What about further up? What have we got? That amazing horn-shaped device is pointing towards the Crystal Tower. I suppose once people are disassembled by the machine, they're shot out of that thing to wherever they're going. I don't think it was supposed to shoot anything, Runo. It was set up to beam people to the Crystal Tower, where they'd be reconstructed in their original form. Well, I don't like the look of it. That's the thing, though. At the other end, there must be a machine to do the same thing. Otherwise, all you're doing is, like, atomizing someone and just blasting it out there, like, go away. There needs to be a receiver at the other end to collect everything, surely. If it was as amazing as it looks, the accident wouldn't have happened in the first place, of course. I suppose that's true, yes, but nothing ever goes according to plan, does it? Never. Doesn't look as though anything is specifically damaged, though. There's all the levers there that the scientist pulled. Huh. So about this government policy. Using high voltage electricity to somehow disassemble a man's body and then beam him across to the Crystal Tower. It's an extraordinary thing to attempt, especially in public. True. It was by far the most unusual of the experiments planned for the exhibition, mind. To be honest, I'm a bit surprised it was allowed. Carrying out something so dangerous with so many spectators present, I mean? The government's doing everything it can to promote new science and technology at the moment. They're more worried about being ahead of the game than the odd spot of public safety infringements. If they can be the first to develop some new technology, it makes Britain more powerful in the future, you see. Yes, I suppose that's true, in a way. So the powers that be are placing a heavy emphasis on scientists' right at the moment. What sort of rights? They're making it so that any theories the brains have remain their legal property, as it were. Right through developing it to a practical idea that even going into production. Which is the infuriating reason as coppers aren't allowed to touch this crime scene. Because the new Highfalutin Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act forbids it. I see now. The only people with permission to investigate here are some from a brand new department at the Yard. The Forensics Investigation Team, it's called. We've been relegated to keeping guard. Forensics Investigation Team. Strongheart was talking about there being a symposium about that. Any old fool can see this heap of scrap metal was a sham to begin with. But just because it says scientific equipment on the paperwork, we can't do a flaming thing with it. Poor Gregsy. He's very het up, isn't he? Incredibly. Remind me again, what's the new legal act that means we're not allowed to touch the scene? Are you having me at it, Sunshine? It's the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. Yes, I think Hurley mentioned that recently with a real twinkle in his eye, as I remember. I'm sure he did, Your Ladyship, I'm sure he did. Passed especially for this great exhibition it was. All scientists have to do is present their ideas or inventions to some supes in the civil service. If it gets a rubber stamp, that's a guarantee of rights to maintain the invention's confidentiality. What does that really mean? Think about it. Think of all the world-changing new inventions on display every day at this exhibition, although a good half of them are loads of cobblers if you ask me, put forward by shammers like yourself. Wow, thanks for that. I haven't even brought an invention with me. Oh, I love how absurd some of the inventions are here. It's all so fun. It might be fun to you, but a member of the Force has to be present at every single demonstration. Can you imagine, eh? Hang science, that's what I say. What has science ever done for us? Oh, I don't think so. That sounds like my dream job. You'd think otherwise after spending a day guarding all the shammers and bogus contraptions. But if they're all bogus, how can anyone hope to demonstrate them? There'd be no point. Yeah, well, there is a point, sadly. Sorry. Thanks to another of our government's bright ideas. If any theory or inventor is deemed to show potential, the government hands out a research grant. The scientist gets funding? Exactly. And that's what they're all after, all these shammers coming from far and wide to clog up Hyde Park. And who has to keep them all safe, eh? Who has to smile politely and welcome them? Us coppers, that's who. So you can see why I say it now, can't you? Hang science, hang it! Oh, maybe I can see your point. It's making me work hard, I don't want it. Apparently Professor Harebrain lives and works in Germany now, conducting his research. That's right, came back to Britain especially for the Great Exhibition, as I understand it. Probably after one of the government's research grants. Ugh. Actually, we learnt something about the professor earlier today, about his time in further education. It turns out he was at the university with someone we both know. Lord Van Zykes. Oh, what? What's that? That's news to me. But if Van Zykes, mans the prosecution, then, as the accused, the professor's fate is sealed, because the Reaper will get him one way or another. Blimey. That's beyond me. Oh, that man's beyond me. I don't know what goes on in that head of his. Talking of Van Zykes, this morning's paper ran a story of him being attacked. Read that? Oh yes, but Mr. Reaper is completely fine, nothing to worry about. He had Casimir with him, backing him up. Yes, right, glad to hear it. Still, the Reaper, huh? How long's that business gonna keep us up, I wonder? The victim of this case, the investigator, Mr. Assman. He was another of the Reaper's victims, or so I've heard. Lord Barrett Van Zykes is a top-class prosecutor, but even he can't always push the right verdict through. Sometimes justice can't win. Yeah, I've heard about jurors being bribed and evidence being falsified, and that's how the notion of the Reaper of the Bailey came about, isn't it? Obviously, Scotland Yard suspected Van Zykes initially. We all assumed he was taking matters into his own hands if he failed to seal the deal in court. Although the man himself denies the charge. Well, we've done a very thorough investigation, and the conclusion we've reached is that Lord Van Zykes is in no way related to the deaths of all the people outside the courtroom. There's no question in my mind. I'd stake my reputation on it, I would. If that's true, how do you explain it? All the defendants couldn't just have coincidentally died if nobody killed them. I know that, but I can't explain it. It's a mystery after all, isn't it? That's the whole point of the Reaper. Professor Harebrain mentioned something else. He said that at the university, Lord Van Zykes was a totally different person, easygoing and kind. You what? He said it was after they both graduated that something happened and changed the man. Do you have any idea what that was? No clue. Really? You're gonna have to try a bit harder than that. Look, I've got my hands full watching over this frustrating crime scene. Why don't you go and make a nuisance of yourself somewhere else, eh? Wow. Iris giving him the death stare. Seriously, dude. Are you done here, Mr. Naruhodo? Sorry? Isn't it about time you were leaving, or rather, it is about time you were leaving. That's that lot are here now. That lot? The Forensic Investigation Team. They'll be giving me the heave-ho in a minute too. Oh dear, poor Gregsy. Here, have another cup of my special blend to cheer you up. Oh my god. Ah, that hit the spot. Yep, it's every time. Well, alas, at least I've seen the scene with my own eyes. It looks like this is as far as we're going to get with our investigation here, at least. I've been thinking. Hurley might know something, mightn't he? About what? About Mr. Reaper. He does, but he won't tell us. We brought it up a couple of times through the course of this game, and he seems to just flutter away from the situation. About what happened to Lord Van Zykes, you mean? Because it sounds like something very significant occurred after he graduated from university, something that completely changed his life. Maybe, but I have no idea where to find Mr. Sholmes at the moment. He's in the middle of some big case, isn't he? Madame to Spells. What? Here, this is what you need. What's this? Some kind of entrance ticket? Madame to Spells? Is this supposed to mean something to me? You don't know it? It's the most popular attraction in London at the moment. It's very close to Baker Street, actually. We could go now if you like. No, we don't have time for visiting attractions today, Iris. We have a big trial tomorrow. But that's where Hurley is. What? At this popular London attraction? Yes. How is it you know where he is? Hurley told me, but he told me to keep it a secret from you, Runo. Madame to Spells. I don't see how it could be related to the case we're investigating here, but then stranger things have happened. And when they happen to Sholmes, it's usually at the heart of them. That's going to be like Madame to Swords, isn't it? Let me try presenting some shit to him. Shall I show him the crossbow? Let's see if he falls for it. As a detective, what do you make of this? Personally speaking, 9 times out of 10 I find clues turn out to be red herrings. So there's every chance that's totally irrelevant. That's actually a fairly persuasive argument. What about this? Alright, so it's the same. He's not giving a shit. And the sketch? Nope, okay. Just thought I'd check with you. New location.